As we settle into our positions on our mat, I'll ask that we just notice how we're feeling today. We can take ourselves into Shavasana, laying down on our backs with our shoulders and hips resting comfortably on the ground. Checking in with our backs, checking in with the shoulder girdle, the pelvic girdle. Notice how that's feeling. The focus of today's class, we will bring attention to the shoulders, the upper back, into the neck, down all the way, stretching across the core into the hips. So right now, while we're laying here, I want us to take that body scan right from the neck, down the shoulders, past the rib cage, the bellies, into the hips. And as we take that scan, like a little x-ray, I just want us to notice, what do we feel? Is it different from right side to left side? Are we feeling twisted? Do we need to kind of wiggle it out and find that neutral alignment? Right, running through the center of our body, that spine, noticing, is it straight? Are the hips right to left side and shoulders right to left side crooked or tilted, or are we even? And now just allowing our legs to stretch out on the ground, noticing both legs flat, having our toes pointing up to the ceiling. Maybe we're letting our feet turn out slightly. How do the legs feel outstretched? Our arms, have we relaxed the shoulders down, extending our arms down by our sides, palms facing up to the ceiling, just soft and loose through the fingers. And go ahead and just kind of rock the head right to left, nice and easy, noticing if we're feeling any kinks, any knots, any tension. Try to maintain alignment with nose pointing straight up to the sky, the back of the head flat on the ground. Let's bring our focus to our breathing now. Taking big inhales, fill the rib cage, and on that exhale, allow the entire body to melt into the ground. I want us to take a couple of these deep two-part breaths, inhaling through the nose, and then exhale through the nose. Noticing the muscles and the facial features just relaxing. Keeping our shoulders resting down on the ground. Okay, just a couple more big breaths. Practicing our breathing helps us to relax, helps our mind to become free. Now, while we're here, I want us to stretch those arms long up above our head, reaching them long on the ground. Just like you're lying in your bed in the morning and you're taking that big stretch to open up through the shoulders, the back, the chest. Notice if it feels good to reach towards the right or the left, opening up through the shoulders just a little bit more. And then we can release those arms down. We're going to gather our knees into our chest, giving ourselves a big hug, holding onto the shins or the thighs, and go ahead and rock side to side. Gently working through the hips, the lower back. Continuing to hold onto our knees, go ahead and just roll the ankles. Keeping a hold of the right knee, we'll lower that left leg all the way down to the ground. Love doing our single leg stretch at the beginning of our yoga class. It's nice and easy as we start to play with that hip flexor, becoming aware of that right hip as we stretch through the inner thigh, and then angling the knee out towards the right shoulder just a little bit, noticing if we're feeling anything else across the pelvis. Let's be mindful of keeping both shoulders and both hips flat on the floor, really extending that left leg down straight. Drawing the knee in and lower down. Let's draw that left knee in when we're ready, give it a squeeze. Same thing, just start to pay attention to our left hip. Relax the shoulders and then open that knee out towards the left shoulder. Firmly pressing that right leg down into the floor. Slow, deep breath. Bringing that knee back in through the middle and lower all the way down. We'll take our feet flat onto the floor now, knees pointing straight up to the sky, arms down by our sides, coming into our glute bridges. Roll the shoulders into the mat, engage through the core muscles, engage those abdominal muscles. We inhale, lift the hips up, and then slowly lower all the way down. Inhale, lift the hips up, so we squeeze through the glutes to stretch the front of the hips. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. We'll do this one more time. Keep those shoulders flat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Good. Now we're going to come into our figure four to start stretching through the hips a bit more. Crossing right ankle over left knee. Try to keep the hips flat. Don't lean in towards that right leg too much. And we can gently press the right knee open with the right hand, or thread both hands underneath that left thigh. Relax the left foot. So many of us hold so much tension. I just want you to relax that leg as we draw the knee in closer towards the body. Use your right elbow if it's available to press the knee away gently. Now, if we're experiencing a lot of tightness or tension right now, especially down the outside of that right thigh, likely we're just experiencing some of the pull from our IT band, our iliotibial band, the band that connects our knee and our hip together and runs all the way down our side of the leg. Once we can start to understand how our body works, we get a better appreciation for the stretches and why we do them and when we need them. Let's slowly release that. Foot is down on the floor. Go ahead and cross the left ankle over when you're ready. Now, same thing. Did you notice if you fell, or are we able to keep our hips level, our spine long and straight? We can press the knee open or thread the hands under that right thigh. Notice if you're able to use your left elbow to open the knee. And just take a couple of big breaths. Are we feeling a stretch through that left hip or up the side of the thigh and through that IT band? Is it mostly in the back? So paying attention to these things, what the body's telling us. And we'll slowly lower down. And just take our time, working our way all the way up and over. We're going to sit in a butterfly. So as we sit down, we'll draw the feet in, touching the soles of the feet together, holding our ankles, lifting up really nice and tall. Take a big inhale. Exhale, hinge forward. And then when we feel a little bit of a stretch in through the groin, we can keep our elbows tucked in or use them to press the knees down a little bit farther to the ground. And then go ahead and try to touch nose towards toes. Relax the head, stretching down the neck. Maybe feeling this through the shoulders as well. Mostly concentrating on the hips. Couple nice big breaths. Take our time slowly coming up. Good. Let's reach our knees in together and we'll come up and over onto tabletop, where we'll do a few cats and cows. We bring our hands directly beneath our shoulders, knees underneath our hips, glue those belly buttons up towards our spine, and just remember we want a little bend in the elbow, slight soft. Take an inhale. I want us to look forward with the eyes, open the chest, and then exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the back, come up nice and high into cat. Untuck the tailbone, open the chest, big inhale, look forward into cow. Tuck the tailbone, round the back, nice and high up to cat. Inhale, open, stretching through the core. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, engage those abdominal muscles, pulling the belly button in. Inhale, open. And one more time, exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull the bellies in, round the back, draw the chin into chest. Good, and then just finding tabletop, where we'll find our thread the needle. So let's bring that right arm, reach it all the way up nice and high, big stretch, thread it underneath that left shoulder, laying into our right ear. We try to keep our tailbone up towards the sky and then reach that left arm forward if it's possible. Nice big stretch for the upper back through that right shoulder. Carefully drawing ourselves upwards, finding that tabletop position yet again. Left arm, big inhale, lift up. Exhale, threading all the way under. Oh, feels so good. Reaching that left arm across, the right arm up ahead. Tailbone again, sticking straight up to the sky as we just lean into that left ear. Couple big breaths. And then coming up through tabletop. Coming next into our runner's lunge. So we'll sweep that right foot up ahead, all the way up in between our arms, lining the knee up above the ankle. We can lift up nice and tall, making sure hips are facing directly to the front. We've got our stomach drawn in, backs are long, shoulders face forward. Now, what's the arm going to do? It can be up above our head or down through heart center, whichever you prefer. As we hold this, I want us to really pay attention to what's happening through the back hip. So this hip is stretching all the way up from your abs down into your thigh. Now, as we hold this, let's just keep those shoulders down. Good. See if you can relax those toes in the front, stretch the toes out, and just try to close your eyes. Couple big breaths. Good, one more big inhale. Exhale, release the hands down. Now slowly, keeping our left hand beside the foot, right beside the foot, I want you to open that right arm up to the sky. Here we can draw a straight line from the ceiling through our fingers, down our thigh. I'll turn to the side so you can get another profile. Stay in this twisted lunge. Lifting it nice and tall. Good, and we might feel a stretch down the outside of our hip or through the shoulder. One more big inhale. Exhale, release. Taking the knee back, and we'll sit into child's pose before repeating this on the left. So as we come back, just reaching those hips down towards the heels. Try to relax those toes, stretching the tops of our feet and our ankles. Extending the arms and dropping the heads lower. Really see if we can push away from our fingers, pull those shoulders down our backs. Take our time, coming all the way back up into tabletop. We'll reach our left foot forward whenever you're ready, stacking the knee right on top of the ankle. Keeping that shin about perpendicular to the floor, we lift up. Belly button and chest facing directly front, hips and shoulders doing the same. Lift those arms up nice and tall. Draw the shoulders down, whether the arms stay high or come down through heart center. That's personal preference. I want us to hold our runner's lunge. Notice our balance. Notice that stretch through the back of our hip. See if we're able to close our eyes. Couple big breaths. Long through the neck, tall through the crown of the head. One more big inhale. Exhale, bring our hands down. Now, leaving the hand beside the foot, this time the left arm opens all the way up into a twisted lunge. We're looking over that bent left knee, trying to keep our hips reaching low towards the floor, trying to draw a straight line from ceiling through our hand, shoulder, shoulder, hand, right down into the ground. Nice big stretch for that left hip. Now we'll take one more big inhale. Exhale, release down, drawing the knee back, and again, we'll sit into child's pose. Noticing now if we're getting a little bit more through the hips, maybe a little bit more stretch through the back. Relax the head down. And we'll curl our toes, lift up into down dog. Now, as we come up to down dog, I want us to walk the dog. So we pedal our feet right to left, toe to heel. Amazing stretch for the arches, the toes, the calves, the ankles themselves. Just play with the timing, 1 foot at a time. Really trying to press that heel down, either into the ground or closer to the floor. Notice how that feels. Continuing to press away from those 10 fingers, drawing the shoulder blades down our backs towards those tailbones, reaching nice and high to the sky. Belly buttons reaching back. All right, now holding down dog, I want us to look up in between our hands. Take our right foot and kick it all the way up there, helping it if we need to get the knee all the way above the ankle. We're coming into warrior one, which means we take our back left foot and glue it to the floor, turn that heel so that we glue it into the ground, really nice and firm support. Slowly walk up that front leg. So our left leg is straight back there. Our right knee is bent. Hips and shoulders face front, and we'll lift our arms up nice and tall, facing forward over that right knee. So here's our side profile. As we hold warrior one, just stay here. I'll turn to the front in case anyone wants another look. Right knee bent, left leg straight. See how the center of my body is facing directly forward. Pressing all 10 toes and both heels down into the ground. We're going to next come into a bit of a balance. Warrior three. The warrior three, we bring our arms out to the side, really strong with those arms. Taking ourselves up a little bit, find your balance onto just our right leg. See how my left leg is just coming off the floor a bit. Go ahead and flex that foot and start to hinge forward, kind of like you're flying. Keeping your arms level. Now stay there. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see me go into it again. From warrior one, we come up nice and tall, slowly hinge forward, trying to hold warrior three. So you're working with legs running perpendicular to one another. That back leg is trying to become parallel, and your supporting right leg is running perpendicular to the floor. Now carefully, I want us to return into warrior one. Take that left foot back, anchor the heel, reach the arms tall. Oh, amazing. Stretching the backs of the legs next into pyramid. We straighten out both legs, hands to the front hip, slowly walk our way down our thigh. As soon as we feel a stretch, we just hold it. I like us to really be reminded of keeping our backs long and flat, both shoulders and hips, facing forward over the front foot. And every time we take an exhale, we just try to relax a little bit more. The amazing thing about yoga, practicing our breathing, becoming aware of what's happening in our body. As we take an inhale, we take a little scan, a self-assessment. As we exhale, we trigger that relax and release response. Allow our body to work through its range of motion, working towards improving on our flexibility, our mobility. Take our time softening that front knee, walking our hands down to frame the foot, working our way back in through plank and pressing back all the way into down dog. If anyone needs a substitution for down dog today, finding child's pose instead. Now, while we're in our down dog pose, I want us to lift our tailbones up a little bit higher to the sky now, almost as if you're imagining opening up the backs of the legs, like really allowing them to lengthen. Try to notice your shoulders too, pulling the shoulders down, long necks. In fact, let's release the necks. Go ahead and just work our neck into that shaking head no, and then nod the head yes. All right, look up between the hands, take the left foot all the way forward, helping it there if you need to, taking that left ankle right underneath the left knee, always working on building blocks. Then we'll anchor that right heel into the floor for warrior one. Walking up the front leg, Making sure we haven't left ourselves open. We're trying to keep our hips and shoulders facing directly to the front, lifting arms high, or remember heart center is an excellent substitution. And as we work our way forward through that front knee, we just notice that we want both heels flat on the floor. So if you need to, feel free to shorten your stance or make it a little bit wider in order to have a better balance. So if long and narrow isn't working right now, feel free to open it up. We can rotate the leg also to account for a tight calf or Achilles today. All right, so as we hold this, just taking one more nice big inhale. And as we exhale, just release those arms out to the side, preparing for warrior three. Warrior three, like an airplane, I want us to slowly stand up, finding our balance on that left leg, flexing the right foot, we start to hinge forward. So as we hinge forward, let's leave our hips and shoulders level to the ground. See how my arms are running parallel to the floor? We don't want to open up, that's when we're going to fall to the side. Let's see if we can keep holding it. That back leg is working towards parallel. This is a very difficult balance. Just try a few times if we need to. Good, we'll take another big inhale here. Slowly work back into warrior one. Take our time bringing that right foot down. Arms can come back up. Good, working on coordination and awareness. Hands come down to the front thigh, finding pyramid. Straighten out the leg. Hips and shoulders remain facing square to the front. We slowly slide down the leg. As soon as we feel a stretch, that's where we're going to stop. So whether we're up high on our thigh, or maybe we're down lower, just noticing what this feels like, trying to maintain a nice flat back, long through the neck. Slow down our breathing. How does it feel to stretch up the back of that left leg? What does that feel like? One more big inhale. Exhale, bend the knee, bring the hands down to frame the front foot. And when we're ready, we sweep back through plank into down dog or child's pose. Very good. Now from here, we're all going to work our way forward into plank, taking that lovely chaturanga, the controlled body lower, scooping up into cobra, whether it's baby cobra or full. Nice and long extension through the stomach, stretching the core muscles down the back, and laying all the way onto our stomach. So now when we're on our stomach, we're going to be stretching ourselves in this position, starting with knot. So just working our way on the floor here so that we feel comfortable with the space around us. We'll start by extending our arms forward in what I would refer to as our Superman setup position. Now, while we're here, I want us to take our right arm, thread it all the way underneath our left shoulder, just like we did in thread the needle. We just get comfortable laying in that right shoulder, making sure it's not up around our ear, but definitely in the right line. And that left arm can reach forward. A couple big breaths. Feeling your body get relaxed as we're laying on our stomach in prone position. And we'll slowly work that left arm across as well, completing our knot, trying to pull the arms as far apart from each other as they'll get. Some of us will be quite constricted and others will be able to get our foreheads down to the ground. Just notice what we're feeling and where, through the arms, the upper back, the shoulders. And we'll take our time now, coming all the way back up and forward into that Superman, just resting here. Preparing to repeat that now. We'll do the other side. So we take the left arm and thread it all the way underneath our right shoulder, laying into that left ear. We can extend that right arm forward overhead. So this pose absolutely is determined by how we're built. Any range of motion or mobility issues through the shoulders. So just recognizing that when we take this Right arm now across the chest, seeing if we can pull it straight. Notice if you're feeling restricted or if we're able to bring the heads down. And slowly working our arms out to the front again. Taking our hands underneath our shoulders, gluing those shoulders together down our backs and lift up into Cobra again, whether it's baby or full. Nice big stretch here. All right, let's press back into child's pose. Oh my goodness, that feeling of our backs lengthening, getting taller, sinking lower through the hips. And then really just extend those arms forward. Take our time walking our hands over to the right side. We'll take another shoulder stretch. Left hand on top, and then just pull our way through that left side of body. Relax the head. Sink a little bit lower into our left hip. Carefully walk our hands over to the left side. Right hand on top. Pull back to our right hip. And then back to the middle. Now we'll ask that we come up into tabletop again. This time we're going to set ourselves up for lizard. Lizard is like our runner's lunge, just a little bit deeper. So we can start by taking our right leg outside of our right hand. So it's just like runner's lunge, but instead of having the leg in between our arms, I want it on the outside of our right leg, lining your shin up with your arm so they're in the same line. We can stay here, already feeling the stretch through our groin, or for anyone who needs extra, feel free to come down onto your elbows or even curl those back toes, lifting the leg up off the ground. I'll show this from the front for anyone needing just another look. So we took ourselves from table, runner's lunge, leg on the outside. We can come down onto our elbows, so long as this knee stays stacked, it's not way outside. And then again, you can pick that back leg up off the floor. Holding this for just a moment longer. Take a big inhale. If we were on our elbows, coming back up onto our arms, our hands. Sweep that leg around, give a little wiggle if it feels good, and let's get that left foot up. Again, we want it on the outside of the arm. So now we've got our arms in the middle, our left knee on top of the ankle, shin lining up with forearm. And if we need a little extra, we can come down onto our elbows. And again, I just want us to make sure that our big toe is glued to the floor. So we're not way forward, we're not leaning the knee out, but we've got a nice line of leg perpendicular to the ground, lined up with our arm or our forearm. Good, take one more big breath. We can come up onto our hands, sweeping the knees back, sitting back into child's pose one more time. When you're ready, coming out of our child's pose position, we're going to work our way all the way down onto our backs. Take your time, slowly laying down, and feel free to bring those knees into your chest and just rocking side to side. We're going to fine tune some of our stretches now, making sure that we've definitely stretched through the core, the back, the shoulders and hips. And what better way to do that than to start with our wheel while we're down here. So wheel is progressive. Some of us will stay in bridge like what we did in our warm-up today. Others will progress through the entire lift. So what I want us to do is have our knees bent, our feet in nice and close to the body, making sure that we're going to stay flat-footed. Hands are down by our side. Imagine someone has a hold of your shirt right near your belly button. We lift our hips up to the sky. Some of us will just stay here in bridge. Some of us will want to interlace our fingers, rolling up onto the shoulders for a nice chest stretch. Others will take our hands right beside our ears, elbows pointing to the sky, lifting the body up. Just notice what our body likes today. Is it the bridge, the chest stretch and bridge, or the wheel? And whenever you're ready, we can slowly roll our way out of that, bringing our knees back into our chest for an amazing hug, thanking our body for everything that it can do. Isn't it truly amazing? Keeping a hold of our right leg, lower that left leg down to the ground, and let's pull our right leg straight up to the sky. We're taking a hamstring stretch now, so we can hold on to our calf, the thigh, even the foot, whatever is more comfortable for us today. And if we're feeling like this is just too tight today, it's too much intensity, we'd like a little bit less intensity, go ahead and just bring that left foot up onto the ground, bending the knee. That's going to back off the stretch just a little bit. As we hold this, notice if we've taken tension through the face, neck, or shoulders. Just try to soften those muscles. Very good. Continuing to stretch through the hips. I want us to now hold the leg in just the left hand, drawing the leg just a little bit across the body. Notice if you'd like to sickle the foot, pointing it in and slightly turning it down. Breathing into that right hip. Slowly lifting the leg up. Now we'll stretch through the groin, holding the leg with just the right hand, opening the leg out towards the right. Again, if this is too intense with the leg straight, feel free to bring that left foot on the floor, or even we can bend that right knee and hold under the thigh instead if the leg straight is too much. Stretching through the inner thigh, through the groin, shoulders and hips stay flat on the floor. We'll take one inhale, lift the leg up, hug the knee in, exhale, release. Repeating now with the left side. We'll bring our left knee in, lift that leg straight up to the sky, holding anywhere on the leg. Try to avoid holding directly behind the knee. Just calf, thigh. Foot can be on the floor or down straight. Relax the neck and shoulders. Take a couple nice big breaths here. Take our time, bringing the leg with just the right hand across the body slightly. Again, we can sickle the foot, turning the foot in, pointing it slightly, noticing if we find what I like to call as our sweet spot, if it's down through the IT band or maybe the side of the shin. What are we feeling and where are we feeling it? Slowly bringing that leg up, holding it in just the left hand now as we open the leg out towards the side. Stretching through the groin, the inner thigh, noticing, again, we can bend the knees, finding that wonderful stretch, the perfect stretch for us today. Doesn't have to look the same. In yoga, we listen to our body each time we practice, figuring out how it's doing, how we can make it better. Lifting that leg up, slowly hugging it in, and lowering it down. So just reaching our arms out to the side, we're going to release through the muscles one last time in a spinal twist. Inhale, lifting the right knee up. Exhale, lower all the way over to the left. Oh, release those shoulders. Stretch out, looking over that right arm. Really try to exhale and feel the body melt into the ground. Inhale, lifting the knee up. Exhale, lowering. Inhale, lift the left knee. Exhale, lower to the right. Trying to keep those shoulders down on the ground, stretching across that left chest, in through the back, down the hip. Couple big breaths. Inhale, lifting the knee up. Exhale, lowering down. Take our time finding Shavasana, being comfortable on our mat, releasing the shoulders, arms are down by our sides. Legs can be outstretched with the feet turned out. Trying to relax the abdomen. Staying in Shavasana, I want us to really feel like the muscles in our face and shoulders are soft. Just close your eyes, laying flat down. Take a couple more big breaths. Okay. Again, if we can give ourselves permission to do so, just relaxing through the face. Quiet through the eyes. Notice if you're furrowing the brow or if you can keep it flexed. And every time we take an inhale, really fill the rib cage up with air. And as we exhale, relax, melting into the floor. We'll just do a couple more of these breaths. We're slowly starting to wiggle our fingers and our toes, noticing how we're feeling. Were we able to work out some kinks? Were we able to become aware of maybe some areas that we need to focus on more? Taking our time, just gathering our knees into our chest and rolling our way up into a seated posture. We're going to stretch our necks before we say final goodbyes. Sitting up really nice and tall. When we're ready, with really nice long posture, long alignment, let's tilt the head towards the right. We can press that left arm away. Notice if we need to angle the arm in order to get a better stretch. We can tilt the chin slightly as well to see what we're feeling, where we're feeling it. Releasing that. Take our time, tilting the head over to the left, working our arm to the right. Again, play with maybe the position of the arm or the chin. Good, and releasing that. Just a couple nice shoulder rolls. Noticing how we're feeling. Always being appreciative of when we take the time to take our mind and give it a break and allow ourselves to focus on our breathing, taking care of our body. And now, if we can stay sitting up tall, I always like to close my eyes at this point. We'll say that final goodbye together. Nice big inhale, reaching arms up above head to prayer. Exhale, hands coming down through heart center. Namaste. Thank you very much, everyone.